What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to discuss how to effortlessly get a man to chase you, to want you, to desire you. What do you need to do? It's the bare minimum, actually. You don't need to do a lot, okay? And that's what this video is about. So, jumping right into it, I first want to frame this with the idea of dating back then and now, okay? You would argue or probably agree that dating is a lot more difficult now, and there's a variety of reasons for that. I think one of the reasons is there's an abundance of options, but at the same time, I feel like, if we're talking about abundance, I think a lot of women give an abundance of IOIs without even realizing that. What's an IOI? An indicator of interest. Basically, some type of sign or signal or behavior, some variable that tells the man brain, oh man, okay, she's picking up what I'm dropping, right? Where if you look at dating back then, ladies, you have women who are very coy, women who are very elusive, women who are very mysterious, and men are courting women in order to not only stick out from the competition, but to win her over. Men are courting women to walk forward, peek behind the curtain, and see where she actually stands in terms of liking him, right? And the degree of that. Oops, I keep on hitting this. And the degree of that, right? That's not really how it is today. Now, a lot of you may say, well, no, I do that, Elliot. Not to the degree you probably think you need to. What ends up happening is let me give you an example. Men are really good at the game too. You're going to have a man love bomb you. You're going to have men, move very fast in the very beginning, I call it front running. Like the pace, the intensity, the things they do, it's just going to be really strong early on. But you don't know now could he like you? Yes, but you don't know that. You don't know if he's doing it as a strategy or if it's genuine interest or anywhere in between. I guess there's a spectrum of it. It can be both. Both things can be true. A guy can like you and like you so much that he's intense. And that's his game plan, of course, but you don't know which one that is. That's why I always tell my clients, you have to play a very conservative game. Think of it like this, and if you watch the movie Hitch, he said it best to his clients. He said, you already got other man. He said, you already got the first date, assume she's interested. She could have said no. Women, you have to kind of think the same thing. If you're talking to a guy who is blowing your shit up, who is wanting to take you out, who is wanting to get to know you and all these things, assume he's interested and that's it. You don't have to keep on trying to gain his interest. You just have to play along. Meaning, you don't want to be a cold-hearted bitch, right? You're not a bitch, you know what I'm saying, though. You don't want to pull back completely and not give a man any type of reward for his behavior, but you don't want to go with the flow, like he says, go at his pace, see him every opportunity. You don't want to be too abundant. The way they did it back then was women, the way they did it back then was just so smart. Like they had the man chase, they had the man initiate, they had the man plan the dates. And when a man wasn't doing these things, it wasn't her coming around and checking in. It was him losing his spot to another guy. You have to have the idea, the mindset of prize mentality. A lot of you, no offense, nothing against you. I understand there's a million psychological factors on why this is. You're talking to a guy right now where you don't have the prize mentality. And I know this because you know what my most popular videos are? Women being cold, how to be cold, how to get a man to regret it, how to tell if a man likes you, how to get a man to chase you, like stuff like this. These are the most popular videos, right? you're talking to men, or you're in positions right now where you're trying to fix a problem instead of being done with it. Ladies, I know you're not going to like this, but even if it means losing him, you have to keep structure. You have to hold your ground. I always say, without structure, there's chaos. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you know what? You do want to work things out. And if you're in a relationship, of course you should. If you've been dating for a while, of course you should. But if you're in the courting stage still, it's not your job to fix things. It's not your job to fix him. It's not your job to get clarity. It's not your job to make him work for. You just need to sit back and let him do his thing. If he's not, there needs to be a repercussion to his actions. He either needs to start from the very beginning, or there needs to be some type of punishment. He just can't come and go as he pleases. Again, women back then were so good at doing that. And if women as a whole today, now this is impossible, but because you all like to undermine and undercut each other, you and your competition of other women, if you're holding up your boundaries, some other women won't. But that doesn't mean she gets the guy. She's going to get played, but she doesn't know any better. It happens. But if all women were to hold their boundaries and structure, or hold their ground, whatever you want to call it, and every woman actually did that, you'll see men being chivalrous overnight because they know they can't get away with shit. But so many women fear losing men. So many women are in positions where they're insecure, and they have this attachment to this man, and he's avoided, and she's anxious, and she's getting in her head, and this and that, and then you wonder why you're in the situation you're in. Now listen, easier said than done. I'm not saying, hey, you know what, ignore being a human, ignore emotions, ignore psychology and attachment. It's easier said than done, but you have to agree with me to some extent, at least, ladies, that back then the way women played the game is cause and effect. The reason men were courting more is not because of what you are probably thinking. Well, there was less options back then. Whether he had 10 options, 5 options, or 100 options, he still had options. Trust me. Hey, my grandpa was one of these guys, right? My grandpa was a ladies' man. He liked talking to ladies. I know my dad's the same way. It was always like that. It was always like that. I remember when I was in high school, I was talking to all these girls. My dad, when he was younger, he was talking to all these girls. With my grandpa, same way. And it always, this is just, men are just men. But when they see a girl they really like, and that girl just rolls over, like, fuck, like, of course he's not gonna court you. Of course men are made to chase. Men are made to court, to provide, to protect, to satisfy those he desires, likes, loves, so on and so forth. It is in our DNA to chase. You have to create a chase. I don't mean games. I'm not saying play games, ladies, but you do have to create it create a scenario where you're the prize and he's chasing you out of curiosity. You have to create curiosity. I guess I could have just said that. That would have summed up this video. A lot of people don't have curiosity anymore, or don't know how to create it, and then they wonder why a man doesn't chase. Men love that elusiveness. Men love the what if, the catch. Now, you may say, okay, but I can't keep that up forever. I'm not saying keep it up forever. It's an attraction thing. Attraction is about a bunch of like little triggers in the head, right? So let me give you an example. The brain is always scanning for attraction triggers, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. It's always looking around, whether it's a woman's shape, a woman's symmetry, the sound of her voice, the things she says, the way she carries herself, things she does, chemistry. A man's always looking for it. Attraction is not a choice. If you are triggering all these things and you're talking to a man who wants a relationship, then again, attraction is not a choice. You just can't wake up and turn that shit on and off. So if you're doing it correctly and you're talking to a man who wants a relationship, you're going to get and he wants it with you, you're going to get a relationship. But you have to playfully, and again, I want to say playfully because I don't think manipulation should, or gaslighting or games should really be a factor here. But you want to have a fun man woman dynamic where there's a lot of banter, a lot of back and forth, a lot of teasing, playfulness. Again, a woman who's mysterious, who's coy, who's playful, flirty, but at the same time elusive. If you do that, ladies, again, I know the title of this video is how to effortlessly, get a man to chase you, but I do think this falls under that category because I feel like you probably need to do less than what you're doing right now. It's all about curiosity, being mysterious, being high value, and holding your ground and holding that image of such. So if you want to work with me, ladies, whether it's working on this, getting a guy to chase you again, maybe you're in a situation right now where a guy's pulling away, you want to know anything, okay? Links down below. I'll love to work with you. 1 hour private consultation. Love you all. Take care and peace.